Hi everyone, I'm going to explain example 1 in section 3.2 to try to help you out. Let me get my pen here. So the beginning of section 3.2 is about conditional probability. The first example says find the probability that a child has high IQ given that the child has the gene. And what you're given is this table down here. In the notation for probability, what we're looking for is the probability that the child has a high IQ given that the child has the gene. So what you want to do to answer this question is to start with the given statement, given that the child has the gene, and use that to narrow down your table. So given that the child has the gene, that means the gene is present. So what I want to look at is just this column. I'm narrowing down my entire table to just this column. Okay, so given that the child has the gene. And then from just this column, I'm going to look at the probability that the child has a high IQ. So that would be those that have a high IQ, 33 out of 72. And that's all there is to it. Okay, let's look at another example based on the same table. Find the probability that a child does not have the gene. Now in this example, there is no given statement, it's just a simple probability, so we're going to use the entire table and not try to narrow it down. So find the probability that a child does not have the gene. I'm looking at the entire table. Let's say no gene. So this is going to be those that do not have the gene divided by the total. So what I want to look at here are those that do not have the gene, this 30 out of the total 102. Now this does not take into account whether the child has a high IQ or a normal IQ. This is the total of everyone that does not have the gene and then over the total. Okay, third part of this, just another example. Find the probability that a child does not have the gene given that the child has a normal IQ. So we'll write it out first. Probability that they do not have the gene, so we'll say no gene, given that the child has a normal IQ. Okay, so this is a conditional probability again, and we do want to start with the given statement. So given that the child has a normal IQ is where we'll start. And we want to use this to narrow down our table. So I'm going to look for those that have a normal IQ. That's going to be this second row here. So I'm looking only at this row to answer this question now. And I want to look at this row and determine the probability that the child does not have the gene. So that's gene not present, no gene. That's 11 here out of the 50 total that have a normal IQ. So I'm only looking at this row. So what you want to do with a conditional probability is look only at the given statement first and use that to narrow down your table to one row or one column.